This is Cyberhorn 92, and what's your name, by the way?
My name's Amit, Deol.
And your team jobber, correct?
Yes, team jobber.
What place did you got at the YCS Las Vegas today?
After Swiss, I placed 9th, and then I made top 32 and lost.
And is this your first top, by the way?
Yes, it's my first top.
Alright, can we see the deck list, by the way?
Yeah, sure. So, it's pretty standard for the most part. It was 2 Lizard Draw, 1 Giturtle, 1 Skullcrobat Joker.
Oh, can you turn the card upside down, by the way?
So, that's pretty much what I had. And then Monkey Board, 1 Turn Toad.
Oh, what does that do, by the way?
So, the way this works is that the card during most people usually use it for its pendulum effect. It's a low scale, and it lets you target one face-up monster on the field and switch its current attack and defense. So the reason why a lot of people often favor this card now is because it lets you get around situations like Domain, or to be able to play around Rafflesia in the mirror match. So it has its utility.
Alright.
Silver Claw, 1 second Donkey. I'll get to why I decided to play this, and also why I played just 1. 3 Sorcerer, 1 Luster, 2 Masters. I felt like 3 was just a little bit too foggy, and most of the time I wanted to draw other engine cards, and space was tight, so I just didn't feel like it was necessary. 2 Overlords.
Will you play a third one?
Sorry?
Will you play a third one?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm not too keen on it. I feel like it was pretty good just to play 2. Otherwise, you may draw too many, and it just doesn't work out so well.
Alright.
So, 1 Archfiend Eccentric. This card put in a lot of work today because, over this weekend, let me hit cards like Domain, let me hit the Ascent Wavering Eyes. I'm pretty sure people know why they play this card, so I only chose to play 1 though, since I felt more than 1 was a little excessive. Armageddon Engine, 2 Armas, 1 Zephyros, 1 Dragon. Once again,
Outs to the floodgates.
Yeah, outs to Floodgate. It lets you just the ability to bounce back your monkey board with Zephyros. It's just too good. You know, it lets you escape being wavering for 4 as well. So that's something I really liked about it. 1 Mass Chameleon. This was my search off of Feral Imps, and some people favored cutting this card, but I felt it was just you couldn't do that because you're missing, since Luster's at 1, you don't really have any more tuners. So that's alright. So
detect cards. Oh my gosh.
3 Droll and Lockbirds for the main.
Why that card?
I expected to play Palladium Monarchs today in Mirror Match. I felt that against this card had at least some utility versus every single matchup aside from Cosmo. And when I played against Cosmo, I came across a situation where if I opened this card in my hand, I would win regardless if they didn't open so well and I had a decent hand. And then if they opened really well, it wouldn't matter. Like, whether I won or lost, it wouldn't matter what card this Droll and Lock was. The rest of the cards in my hand carried it. There was a situation where my opponent Cosmo Towned for 2 cards back to the deck, starting his turn, and then I dropped the Droll and Lock, and then I shut down his Tin Can play.
Wow.
So that was pretty interesting. It was very weird though. I didn't see this a lot of my matches during the weekend, but when I did, it was fairly useful.
Is that like the MVP for this weekend?
I would not call this the MVP, honestly, because I didn't see it so much, but I definitely felt that it put in work when I drew it.
Alright.
Reinforcement for Armageddon, and then 3 Rising. This card alone just fixes a lot of problems I feel the deck has. Previously, I felt that Dracopals had an issue where you didn't know like how you wanted to play it. You could either make it so that you would have a really consistent deck and not be able to play around things such as back row, or you could play make choices that would make you play against back row and reactive cards, but then you would harm your consistency. This card allowed me to do both because it allowed me to be able to play the Arma engine as well as make utilization of cards like dead cards like maybe Dragon. I could turn this into a favorable situation for me. That's okay.
You can do it now.
Yeah, so the way I see it is that people were favoring possibly cutting the Dark Engine because they felt it made the deck inconsistent. But I felt this is really important to be able to get around back row in the mirror, such as wavering. And as I mentioned about with Zephyros and whatnot, the ability to bounce back monkey board, escape a wavering before. This card lets me be able to play the Dark Engine while also having a consistent deck. I guess you could say possibly 3 is a bit excessive. I just wanted to make sure I saw the card. So that worked out pretty well. I've only drew multiple copies, like around 3 times, and each time I still probably won my games. So I drew 2 of these in top 32 though, so
wow. Is that good or bad?
So well. Because I only had pendulum monsters.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. Then 3 face off. Everybody knows why. 3 wavering eyes.
Obviously.
3 instant fusion. I only play 1 Norden, but I felt like since I play Emerald, it was justifiable. This card allows me to just be able to play around back row or create my board, an established board. So that was really, it worked out really well. And the great part is I can use Rising on the monster I bring out, which is the Norden, and be able to pop a scale with Sork and the Sork itself and then search. So that was pretty good.
And you want to draw into it?
I drew into this plenty of times.
Wow.
Like, I would say almost every game this weekend. Not every game, every match this weekend.
Wow, that's insane.
So, 1 soul charge. This card is iffy because I noticed that this is more of a card for when you play around cards like Strike and whatnot, and they shut you down. Yes, Solemn Warning. Or you could use this to establish a board that's really strong, but it's really terrible when you're dealing with trying to fix your hand and it's inconsistent. This card just could be the missing piece you needed versus just being an unusable spell card. So it's highly debatable whether I'll still keep this in. It did some work though. And Treacherous Trap Hole for Rafflesia.
Alright, can we see your side deck?
So for the side deck, I sided 2 Maxi, BA, Cosmo, Bachelor's, such as that. 2 Denko.
Oh, whoa, these are too good.
I know this is slightly unfavorable right now. This card's not seeing as much play, but I feel against Phantom Knight and BA, this is really important to, it shuts down everything they have. And then if you can make a Pendulum summon and just drop Ignis or whatnot, it's for the most part game. Or make a Dweller and just make plays. The one thing that's kind of iffy about it, I know people are questioning, is the fact it uses up your normal summon. So I definitely would have to reconsider this card. I didn't get to draw it against the actual matchup I put it in for, but the funny part is I played against Chainburn round 2, and the opponent played, I lost game 1, and then both games 2 and 3, I dropped Denko on him, and I just won.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, highly debatable whether I'll still keep this in. Most likely, yes. I didn't get to draw it versus my opponent playing BA Phantom Knight in top 32. So we'll see. Dark Hole. I needed massive removal for the mirror match, so it was Dark Hole Regeki. Sometimes my opponent would play Ariadne, side into Ariadne versus the mirror match. And I felt like sometimes it was justifiable to side into Denko and then play these cards so that I could still play the game. So that was really good. This actually came up and it put in some work for me. 2 MST, Twin Twister, I just felt wasn't really so good because, sure, it pops 2 cards and it's great. I sort of wish I had it in top 32, but the thing is it makes you have to discard a card, which is a really crucial aspect of the deck after the adjusted list. Since cards aren't really as free anymore, you're still dealing with a situation where you have to keep trying to make plays to fix your hand and then make an explosive play versus just having an abundance of free advantage. And MST, I felt like a lot of the times I wanted to hit a card or a back row or anything, it was always just one card. The second card was always a back row, which was chainable, so I just, MST seemed to
Would you play Twin Twister?
I do not play Twin Twister.
You don't like it?
I chose not to, I opted not to, and my team advised me as well not to do it, and I'm really happy that they did. 3 system down, I was iffy about whether playing this versus Iron Wall, but this was a mass removal, and I realized if I was siding cards like MST and I wanted to play, if I still want to keep instant fusion and whatnot and go off, and then system down was the way to go. I found that against Cosmo, they just OTK you immediately if they go second. They could Dark Hole and then they could E-Telly and then just go off. Whereas if I go second, I can kill them before they try to kill me and drag the game out into a grind game. The other card I played was Gameciel.
What is that?
This is basically a sea turtle, the sea turtle kaiju. I can just tribute this onto my opponent's field by like special summon it. It's more like a lava golem in a way. I chose to play this because I noticed it was popular for people who decided to Naturia Beast. And I like versus the mirror, and this card would have been my out to Nat Beast or anything else that was probably terrifying, such as Super Mega Quantums, and they have the big guy. What's the Megazord guy?
I have no idea.
The one that prevents you from...
Like tower?
The tower, yes, the tower. That's and then the remaining 3 cards, can't go without these. Master Restrict.
Too good.
This card, hands down, won me plenty of games. Playing the Dark Engine was really good with this because I could make a Key Beetle and I could just use it on my Restrict and it was just over.
That is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one out to that, to be honest, and that's if my opponent plays Chalice. So they could Chalice the Key Beetle and then just pop with Twin Twister. But I was pretty sure people weren't really going that far. So. As for the extra deck, I played 1 Elder Entity Norden.
Obviously.
The reason I played 1 was because I play Emerald. 1 Dinoster, 2 Ignister.
Obviously.
Some people favored 3. I felt like I could close the game faster. My objective was to finish the game quick, so if I was going quick, I didn't need to play the 3rd one because the 3rd one seemed like it was more for grind game. 1 Magister, 1 number 66, Key Beetle. This card could also protect my Wavering Eyes before siding into cards like Restrict, so that was also helpful. 1 Nightmare, 1 Utopia with a Lightning.
Whoa.
The funny, it's strange, I didn't draw this card. I mean, not draw, sorry. Wow, yeah, I can't draw an extra deck card. I didn't drop this card much in the tournament. I felt like the game either went to the point where I was way ahead or I was way too behind to the point where I couldn't make a comeback regardless if I played this. So, I would definitely still play it though. It's more for certain situations. It can hit for game. Your opponent has to play differently because they have to make sure they don't have monsters in attack, like low monsters, just in case they're low on life, which was a thing with Cosmo. And this hits over the big ships too, so glad this card came out.
And it becomes 5,000, correct?
Yeah, definitely, but only when you battle a monster, keep that in mind. 1 Diamond Dyer, 1 Castell, 1 King of the Feral Imps, 1 Traptrix Rafflesia, 1 Dweller. Some people I heard were favoring playing 2. I felt like extra deck space was really tight, so I didn't play it. That was also my reason behind not playing maybe another Ignister, but I never needed the 3rd one, so.
Plus, you can recycle with that Guess Emerald.
Yeah, with Emerald, and Emerald's the last card.
Thanks for the deck profile and congrats of getting top 32. Would you like to make any shoutouts before we go?
Definitely. Shout out to my team Jobber, Jesse, Rob Lowe, Adam. There's just so many names I could name out. I would like to shout out to my locals as well, Equilibrium Games in Concord, California. They're really helpful with my deck building and they make it a really competitive environment, which is what helps a player thrive. And I would like to shout out to my boys Mitchell and Luca Sospik for, you know, getting banned from Yugioh last year.
Oh yeah.
At YCS San Jose.
And thank you for the deck profile, and Cyborg92 is signing out.